Hey everybody, RPGamer is at PAX West 2016 and we are checking out Holy Potatoes. We're in space and I'm here with...
My name is Ivan Moltini. I do PR and marketing for Daylight Studios. And of course, as you said, this is Holy Potatoes, we're in space. It's a roguelike space adventure game with management elements.
All right.
So what happened was we wanted to make a second game from our first one, Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop.
Right.
But we didn't want to make a direct sequel. So what we did was we kept the IP, we kept it all in the same potato-filled universe.
Right.
But we thought, let's just shoot them up in space.
Space!
Yeah, and we've introduced a lot of races, so now we've got a bunch of veggies, we've got like carrots, onions, eggs, we've got everything.
All right, so let's give it a try.
Let's do it.
All right, so are these spuds that were in the original?
No, so what happens is in this game you're following two sisters, Cassie and Faye.
All right.
And they're traveling through space because they're trying to look for their grandfather. Because he was incarcerated by an evil corporation called the Eclipse.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they're trying to bail him out. So basically the story follows them and their quest to find their grandfather.
All right.
Yeah. So right here what you're doing is you're playing kind of like a little demo build.
Right.
So it's a very small slice of the game. And it's just a little story here where Cassie and Faye are trying to find this evil carrot captain and they're trying to take him down.
Endless fury!
Yeah.
All right.
So basically this is a little introduction to kind of get the player to name his ship.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
this
then
is honestly the hardest part of the game, trying to find a name
for
this
well,
ship.
we have to call this the RP game. Oh, helps if I can type right. Mobile. There we go. The RPGamer Mobile. Woohoo!
That's a cool name.
All right, crew and weapon stations.
Here we go. So the first thing you're going to see is the ship interior. So kind of like the first game of Weapon Shop, if anyone's played it and are familiar with it. You can just close this down, just kind of like a little introduction. We've kept elements from the first game where you're kind of managing your ship and everything.
Right.
So right over here you have the crafting room.
All right.
The way this works, very simple. You have 4 stations, just like in the first game. And down here you'll have a bunch of components. So the way it works is you just drag a component and then you take a free engineer and then you drag that guy over and then it starts crafting.
Right.
Right. Main difference from last game to this one is that this game is turn-based. So instead of sitting around waiting for things to happen, you kind of assign everyone to do their jobs.
All right.
And then when you go out and explore or travel, everything gets done in the background kind of thing. So this is this room done. You can exit it over there.
All right.
And then the second room that's open is the bridge. And the bridge is kind of like where you assign your weapons and your engineers.
Okay.
So you have, again, 4 stations. Right down the bottom you have all your weapons, and you have a lot more on the right as well. And yeah, same thing, you just drag and drop the weapons in. So if you move on to the right, you'll see that we have a lot stronger weapons as well.
Whoa.
I would suggest getting the laser pointer, because it's really strong and it attracts cats, as all laser pointers do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, a magical girl
This one's
wand.
also, that one's my favorite by far. This one like removes all debuffs as well, so it's super helpful to have when you're out in combat.
All right, and let's do this one here.
That one, and then I would suggest also changing the big red button. Probably putting the Gravedigger just in case, because this one revives broken weapons.
Okay.
All right, so you can close this.
All right.
Let's say something super quick. So right now you only have 2 rooms open, but in the whole game you'll have 5 rooms.
All right.
So this right here is the research room, where you're kind of going to research and you're going to like upgrade your ship, probably like so you can like upgrade your ship fuel so that it's more efficient, or your hull and stuff like that. Over here we have the training room, where you train your engineers and they're going to acquire new skills by doing the training.
Awesome.
Over here you have the therapy room, where what happens is, because when you're out in combat, if one of their weapons get destroyed, then the engineers become traumatized. So they have a nice little spa day, they have a jacuzzi, they have massage rooms, they have a little like VR station where they can play.
They have to be coddled as the potatoes they are.
And of course at the back we have the space bar, so you can go and grab some drinks. Right, so what we can do is we can press over here.
All right.
We can head off to the galaxy map. So the galaxy map, basically you can right click to zoom out. I guess you can just use the scroll wheel.
All right.
So basically how the galaxy map works, it's all procedurally generated.
Okay.
And you start off at the hub all the time. And what happens is, so right now we have what's it called, objective, and we have to find this planet, right? So if you kind of look around, it should say objective on one of the planet. Oh, right here, perfect. So what happens is you can click on that, and you can just travel to the planet. So the circle over here kind of shows you your radius.
A range.
Like that's how far you can go.
Right.
So if you have to go to a faraway planet, you kind of want to, plan your trip because you have souls. So what we have is a soul system.
Yep.
So basically, it's kind of like your turns. So soul being a solar day passes, everything gets completed. Like this is the screen that shows you what you've been doing and stuff.
Okay.
And every time you travel or explore or skip a turn, then one soul passes and everything gets done.
So I completed an objective?
Yep. So basically, as I said earlier, you're trying to find the evil carrot.
Yes.
And basically Faye is telling Cassie that, all right, this is the planet that he's probably on, so we should go down and explore it to see if we can find him.
All right.
So you can just click right here and head on down to explore. So this right here is kind of like a summary screen. Tells you, all right, these are the weapons that you picked, this is their name and their level, and these are the engineers assigned to the weapons.
Right, okay.
So one of two things can happen. You can either have choice encounters, beautiful, or a combat, right? So the choice encounters are kind of like...
That gentleman, that potato looks particularly familiar.
Yes. So what happens is kind of like the first game we have random encounters.
Right.
But one of the main issues with the last game was that people were saying, oh, the random encounters just keep popping up and it doesn't feel like it's making much of an impact to the game.
Right.
So we've changed that from the first game. So we have a lot of these, and depending on your choices, it can either lead to you getting resources or starch or combat, or it might even give you a key item. And with the key items, they affect the storyline.
Okay.
So what happens is there is an overarching story.
Right.
But the first galaxy and the last galaxy will always have the same story.
Gotcha.
But in between, since we'll have like a bunch, maybe like 30, 40 stories.
Right.
When you travel down, every time you play the game, because it's going to be short play time, but there's like a high replayability factor. So every time you go, you're going to encounter different stories. So you always go from A to B, but it's always going to feel like a different game.
Path.
Yeah, exactly. And with these key items, what happens is if you have it in your possession, it might start a story that you would not have seen. So it kind of like, it starts you down a path that is only unlocked with the key items.
What? 10,000 starch?
Don't worry, we have something like 50,000, so we're good to go.
Okay.
So yeah, just like the first game, we have a lot of references and a lot of pop culture references and do a lot of puns and silly jokes.
Yep. Well then, the gemstone of great power and majesty.
Perfect choice.
So how do you make starch in this game?
You can make starch by going out and exploring.
All right.
So when you destroy ships, you'll get starch amongst other things like resources and components to craft new weapons. Also, if you destroy all the weapons of a ship, they go, okay, I surrender, I will pay you to escape, so you can take some money there too.
Right.
And we're also going to have a hub where you go to kind of like fix your ship up and stuff and refuel.
Gotcha.
And we might also open it up to trading, to be able to sell things to make money and
Whoa.
buy. Right. So right here you have, these are macaronis.
Right.
Given by their shape. And their ship is kind of like a macaroni ship, like, you know, the alphabet pastas?
Yep. So now they said the hull was really tough on this one, so it was probably better to take out the weapons.
True. So how combat works is, first thing that's important is your charge.
Right.
So you always want to take a look at the charge, right?
Right.
So right now you have 6. Every turn it kind of goes up, so you can shoot more and more weapons.
All right.
So the way it works is very simple. You click on a weapon, then you click either on any weapon or the hull. And then if you still have more charge, you can click on another one. If not, then you just click fire.
Fire!
So they're the cats that I was talking about.
Yes, yes. They were very attracted. Oh, and it even had cats that fell on it.
Yep.
All right, so I have a lot of charge now.
Yep, so every single weapon has its own skill.
All right.
So if you see the grave digger over here has a chance to bring back weapons. This one over here attacks all targets. What's it called? The laser pointer, of course, attracts the cats, but it can hit up to 5 times. And the magical girl wand, it removes debuffs on your own weapons.
Okay.
Because we have stuff like attack down, we have defense down. So yeah. Oh, and then also over here you have your shields.
All right.
So just in case, so what happens is focus, right? So if one of your weapons starts to get really low, you can click on that and kind of like put it on the weapon that you'd like to protect. And also right here, you can see that your weapon is affected by a debuff.
All right.
So to see that, you just go over that, and it'll tell you, oh, okay.
Right.
So these are your buffs, and these are your debuffs.
Yep. So I activated my wand,
Yep.
and then I'll
remove your
debuff it.
debuffs. Yeah.
Right. Fire! Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh.
Oh no. All right.
There you go.
So
you can use the laser pointer. I would suggest using it on the bigger one, and then using something that hits not as hard on that one.
all right. So I don't think I have enough for this one, but I do have enough here. All right.
Also, all the weapons have. Before we didn't have this, but we implemented accuracy and crit checks.
Okay.
So it kind of adds another layer of
Gotcha.
depth to the game.
All right.
Wow, you one-shot that weapon.
Woohoo! Oh dear. All right.
Yep, see, so right now a couple of your weapons are really low.
Yep.
So I was gonna say I suggest changing the shield, but he took your shield down as well.
All right. So I still want to try to debuff.
Yep.
And then I should probably fire the cat laser at the hull.
Yep.
Fire! All right.
There you go. So this is the escape that we were talking
All
about
right.
earlier.
So let's let them run away.
Yep. There we go, we get money, and we also got a component as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, so in every exploration, as you can see from the top, you have 3 encounters.
Right.
So they're all procedurally generated and it's
Yep.
picked from a pool. And what we did for now is we wanted to make sure that you don't have just 3. So we wanted to kind of balance it out for the demo so that people get a chance to see both.
Right.
But in the game, it's going to be completely randomized and all procedurally generated. So there are times where you could get 3 combat encounters.
In a row, okay.
Which is difficult because you can't really heal your weapons or fix your stuff in between.
All right.
So you really have to plan a ship and say, okay, I'm going to take a weapon that heals, one that debuffs, one that does a lot of damage, and maybe one that buffs all my weapons.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the good thing, the thing that I really like about this title is that we hired a scriptwriter, and he's just writing some of the most amazing things. He's going really in depth with the story. So there's always going to be a lot of nice little stories to go through.
All right.
And yeah.
Well, I feel like I kind of have to go with the feather here.
Yep.
But I have to remember to use it properly.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this will give you a key item, which was what I was talking about earlier.
Right.
And yeah, so what happens is in your inventory, you'll have all these key items that may affect the story further down the road and everything.
Right. So Faye is a bit of a pessimist.
Yeah,
and
so Cassie's like the
optimist.
carefree, you know, she's all happy and she's like, let's do this, let's do that, super curious, where Faye is kind of like a rock and she's like, nah, don't do this, don't do that, and she tries to keep her out of danger.
All right, so what are you looking for a release date?
We're planning to do January. We wanted to do November, but seeing as how all the big AAA titles are coming out in November, it's kind of scary we'd be drowned out by all the big titles, so we're thinking January is probably a safer option for us.
And still Steam, PC?
Yep, Steam, so it's going to be PC, Mac, and Linux.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see if down the road we decide to port it anywhere, but for now, we just want to get the game finished, we want to get it nice and polished, and we'll figure all that stuff later.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time with the Holy
Thank
Potatoes
you so much.
today.
Thank you so much.